So I heard a song the other day that objectified women in every way. That doesn't narrow it down much, but it was pretty depraved. The feminists are probably still rolling in their graves and see it reduce people to parts, objects to be acquired, turn hearts and minds into mere things to be desired, and as parts of my body were assessed and sized, I thought, what a way to be dehumanized, and these artists seem to be playing a game of how many times they can call us the wrong name. Because I'm not a dime, those come a dozen. No, I'm really not interested in all your lovin'. I'm not your shorty, your hoe, your trick, your baby, lady, girl, or chick. I mean, can someone explain to me how this counts as music when you chant, you pant about windows and walls? Talk about a woman like she's a thing to be mauled. Oh, she's got a big booty, so you call her a big booty? If she had a big brain, would you call her at all? But it seems like I'm the only one appalled that music can make me feel so small. You may think they're just words. That doesn't give them immunity. Words start wars and break spirits. They're still used with impunity. Just imagine a young girl, smart, funny, well-rounded, walks into a club and finds herself surrounded by men acting like they've got something to collect. They're just listening to the words that tell them that she's an object, and her objections catch in her throat as she gets harassed unchecked, treated with disrespect. She's caught in the middle, and the lady doth protest too little. A few words have made her think she's brittle. Do you see where I'm going? It's not exactly a riddle. I'm saying, can we turn up the volume but turn down the noise? Stop polluting the minds of our men and our boys with all the rude misogyny and bland homogeny of rhymes and beats so crude and obsolete, because our ears are bleeding from all these cowards. The time is ours. We are ready to devour lyrics that make us feel empowered. Yeah, I watched a video the other day of my girl, Beyonce. She was draped in feathers and furs and things, exaggerated makeup and big chunky rings. She was dancing in the desert, hair being wild, and I thought to myself, what does this look like to a child? To see a woman belt about her power while thrusting her hips to and fro. How will she know she can wear the pants in the house when her idol doesn't wear them in a video? I mean, on so many levels it makes me go ballistic that we've consented to be portrayed as animalistic. Because on one hand you're exotic, you're fierce, do no wrong. On the other you're a female dog in every song. I don't want to be serenaded to my individual parts unless you can look past the flesh and talk about hearts. I mean, does anyone even know that Beyonce's smart? Because if she was a boy even just for a day, she wouldn't have to crawl on all fours to crawl up the charts or shed those fine furs to grace a few album covers. Does her husband have that problem? Apparently he's got 99 others. And it sounds dramatic. Maybe my skin should be tougher, but consider the history of women of color, not valued as wives or sisters or mothers, but used by men as unwilling lovers. When you think of the slaves who were used like instruments, you realize that society is progressing by mere increments. Just imagine the bodies covered in raw welts and tell me it's okay when black women are dressed in animal pelts. All those women who paid with their bodies to survive 200 years later are portrayed as sex-crazed and deprived. Please forgive me if I think music needs to be revived. I mean, can we turn up the volume but turn down the noise? Stop polluting the minds of our men and our boys with all the rude misogyny and bland homogeny of rhymes and beats so crude and obsolete, because our ears are bleeding from all these cowards. The time is ours. We are ready to devour lyrics that make us feel empowered. So I heard a song that caused me pain. The words were bordering inhumane, because I'm not accustomed to boys yelling at me. Never had to face boys telling me to smack that, shake that, beat that up. Those aren't the ideas of love with which I grew up. Maybe the whole concept is new to me, but then he started whispering what he'd do to me in a place where no one else could see, without even asking if I'd agree, and I really had to strain to hear. The words came fast and disappeared. They were drowned out by good music, I'm not gonna lie, because good beats are the noise behind which singers hide as they beat a woman up inside. It's easy to do once we've been dehumanized, and the devil's greatest aid is my greatest frustration. It's the most common appellation to sweep the nation, rhymes with which I'll leave it to your imagination. And you may think there's no correlation, but when a man loves a woman who won't love him back, what if his first instinct is to attack? He's got lyrics and blood pounding in his ears, and a helpless woman faces her worst fears. She's smacked, shaken, beaten, torn apart. Against all odds, his bite's as bad as his bark. He causes the kind of pain that leaves a mark, and before he leaves, he turns to say his parting word. It's on the tip of his tongue, comes out unslurred, might have been left unsaid if it had been left unheard, but it's been so programmed he doesn't twitch. His mouth fills with venom, and he spits out, bitch. What can she do to ease her strife? Every song on the radio is a soundtrack to her life. So can we turn up the volume, but turn down the noise? Stop polluting the minds of our men and our boys with all the rude misogyny and bland homogeny of rhymes and beats so crude and obsolete, because our ears are bleeding from all these cowards. The time is ours. We are ready to devour lyrics that make us feel empowered. I know it's a steep mountain to climb. It might take a while, but until that time, I think I'd just rather spit my own rhymes.